Greetings and felicitations, dear audience. My name is Ian McCombs. I want to talk about something completely different in regards to writing today. Let's talk about emotional energy. Are you confused? Good. Let's figure out how to turn your confusion into words on a page. Roll that new intro. Salutations and admirations, dear audience. Are you feeling worn down? Are you stressed, anxious, angry, frustrated? Of course you are. There are tons of stories to help you out, not only the stories that other people write, but more importantly, stories that you write. We're going to talk about several strategies on how to write these stories. Go downstairs and like, subscribe, and let's get going. Many of us are feeling a lot of emotions due to the zombie plague that's infecting the world. We're feeling cooped up, anxious, and maybe even a little powerless. Think about that though. How many heroes have you read or watched movies about that have felt the same way? Frodo talks about how heavy the ring is. Captain talks about how if this plan doesn't work, he doesn't know what he's going to do. It happens all the time in the stories that we read about. You've heard about the all is lost moment. So think about that. What is your favorite all is lost moment? And tell me in the downstairs comments which one is your favorite. When our characters feel at their lowest, we identify them. We've felt terrible about a situation. We see how terrible something is in our lives, so we identify with that. But if Rocky can overcome Clubber Lang, then we can overcome our struggles as well. So let's talk about that. 10 things to help you get through this and write some good stories. Number 1, identify what emotion you're feeling. Are you feeling anxious, lonely, depressed, hopeless, powerless? Write it down. Page 1, nothing else, just the emotion. I'm feeling powerless. We've identified the core emotion we're going to try to use to overcome what we're feeling and write a good story through it. Number 2, why is your character feeling that way? Let's stick with powerless. Say you're in a romance and the character feels like they are too ugly to have any romantic partners. Thus, they are powerless to have a romantic interest in a romance story. They won't even try to flirt or ask somebody out, even if an amazing person shows interest in them. Your story has ended before it even can begin. In fantasy, let's say an evil overlord controls the nation where they live. If they try to start a plucky band of adventurers to overthrow the evil overlord, then the evil overlord is going to send minions to kill them and put them on wooden stakes on the castle walls. Thus again, story never starts. We've identified what emotion you and your character is feeling. We've identified why your character is feeling that way. Now here's the hard part. Why do you feel that way? Write it down. You're powerless because the beer plague is too big and it's everywhere and you can't escape it. It's in the news everywhere. That's okay. We're going to get through this. Even if things aren't okay, we'll be okay. And even if they're not okay and things start getting worse, we'll make them better through hard work and diligence to make them okay in the future. How can your character overcome their feeling of powerlessness? The heroine in the romance can learn how to accent her positives while minimizing her negatives. So she starts showing off her amazing assets, but she doesn't laugh too much because she sounds like a brain donkey. The hero in the fantasy learns how to build a group of people to overthrow the evil overlord, but they do it in the shadows. Thus, they sneak around and set up a whole underground resistance just in the shadows where no one knows they're there. Number 5, just as the characters you are thinking about can change, you can find a small way to help. I have a group of friends who have been sewing masks to give to health workers, trying to do the best they can to at least bridge the gap between what is needed and the things that they can just make do with. I know a wonderful church lady who is calling everybody who's cooped up and can't get around and who are people who are isolated, so that way she's bringing joy and happiness at least as much as she can. Like Mr. Rogers said way back in the day, find the helpers in a bad situation and help them. Find a small way that you can help others, so that way it empowers you to feel better about things. Number 6, just as your character has a bad feeling about life, you have a bad feeling about life. How do you change that? We'll talk about 2 things. Eliminate as much negativity as you can and raise up as much gratitude as you can. There's an amazing video from Vanessa from Braincraft to illustrate the gratitude effect. I'll put that in the card here, so definitely click on that. As well, after that video, I'll put a card about the wonderful video from Kyrgyzstan about gratitude as well. So right click on the cards, please watch them, they can really help. Number 6A, let's eliminate those things that are stressing you out. Stop watching the news, stop listening to dreadful podcasts, stop talking to all your family members who are doom and gloom and talking about all the horrible things that are happening. Establish a boundary. Hey, I'll talk to you about the kids, but we're not going to talk about the Guinness plague. Don't allow them to cross that boundary. So they're all like, hey, I've just got to tell you this, and you go, no, you don't. How is little Anthony? Has he come out of his unfortunate timeout incarceration? Delete the Twitter from your phone, unfollow people who are panicking on Facebook, mute annoying Instagrammers, raise up your mental health and give yourself permission to not digitally self-harm. And yes, I do mean that. There are things that we are doing on social media that are mentally similar to things that people do that are physical self-harm. So I beg you, please be good to yourself and limit those negative things. Number 6B, if you didn't watch the videos in the title cards, I'll put them up here again. So click on the cards, watch them after this. Start and keep a gratitude journal. Every morning, every lunchtime, and every evening, list 5 things that you're grateful about. Write them down and be real. Some days, yes, you're gonna be grateful that the cat puked on the rug rather than the brand new carpet you put in, and that's okay. Be grateful for that one time. One day I'll have to share you how my beloved cat did a whole boot scoot on the rug rather than the carpet, and I was grateful for that. So let's start right now. Go downstairs in the comments and tell me 5 things that you're thankful about right now. All right, so number 7, you have a plan of action. We're gonna practice gratitude, we're gonna eliminate negativity, we're gonna write what your hero is feeling, we're gonna write what they're gonna do about it, and write down what you're gonna do about your same feeling. Now, here's the fun part. I just pulled a plot twist like I see plagued people. If you're having trouble with the story and writing a story that resonates with readers at an emotional level, then you've just solved your own problem. The feeling that your character is feeling is the same as what you're feeling. And so that feeling, it can be your character's need. How they're trying to solve that problem of what they're feeling is your character's want. So your character wants to feel pretty to get a partner, but what she really needs to do is to have a lot of self-acceptance and feel pretty so they can get a new partner by becoming more self-confident in who they really are. Your character wants to create a secret society to overthrow that evil overlord, but what they need is to create a positive place where they and other people who are oppressed as well can raise up themselves to make a better place in their nation. In other words, you and your character are both becoming empowered. Number 8, you're writing about how you feel powerless, so you're putting that same emotion into your character. You feel it, they feel it, so write about it. Be brutal, be honest, you're feeling powerless when you read the news, so you're going to put that into your character. Your peasant feels powerless when the town crier tells everyone about how everything is terrible and how they should be happy because the evil overlord is making things better. You have a family member criticizing your books or what you're doing with your writing, so You have your characters set a boundary not to listen to the criticisms of their evil stepmother. You know it resonates with your story because you're living the problem yourself. Be honest, be sincere, what would actually help some of their problems. And you can write what those problems are in your life. Take several degrees of Kevin Bacon wrapped asparagus to write about their problem, to have that same emotional connection. Real emotion, real problems, just a few degrees of separation, and a reader who has their own problems will identify with that and feel all the resonating feels that they feel themselves. Number 9, we just went on a writing journey to show how you can establish a feeling of resonance in your writing. What you're going to do is you're going to write what you know, like they say all the time. Don't limit yourself, however. Transfer this to whatever story you may be writing. If you're feeling despair about the future, then write about it. You can write about how a non-intelligent nanobot plague is eating world after world, colony after colony. Maybe there isn't a good solution, maybe there is no fix to it. However, they can create an ark to house all the knowledge of humanity, all the wisdom of the past, so a future Call of the Wild can bring that forth. Doesn't have to be a happy ending, but it can be a wistful hope punk ending. Number 10, we've just talked about the differences between what a character wants, which is generally a tangible goal, and what the character needs, which is personal growth. The want can be generous, it doesn't have to be completely selfish. The need should be what will end the story in a satisfying way. Maybe not happy, maybe not wonderful, maybe it's a little bit wistful. Improvement, just like you, just like me, every day we're getting better. Change doesn't happen overnight, nor does it come easy. Thus, your characters should go through some bad times, conflict, a story arc, so that way they have a personal growth moment to get to the good vibes that they're seeking, that you're seeking. So start your gratitude journal, listen to some positive speeches or watch videos about positive things. You can change because your character can change. It's not going to happen overnight, nor will it come easy, but it can and it will happen. Number 11, because 11 is my favorite number, it's the first prime number after 10 after all. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this video. If this video helped you, please share it with someone else. I hope you find what you need. May your creative journey bring you peace, love, and happiness.